Just a quick note before I start the video. I want to thank you guys so very much for getting me to 80 subs. It's not a lot, it's not a billion trillion, but I don't really care about getting to a billion trillion. I am very glad that I'm getting to, somewhere. It feels amazing. And, thanks for liking my video and everything. And, thanks for sharing it to those friends that shared it. You guys are great. You guys are fucking awesome. And I love you all. So let's get into the video. When I sit down to make a video, I feel very like about it, but this time I actually feel kind of good. So without further ado, let's get into the introduction. If you've been along the ride of life as long as I have, you probably know that there's been a billion different renditions of Batman. And if you didn't know, well, there's been a million renditions of Batman. And of course I'm exaggerating for the sake of the video, but Batman, hasn't always been Christian Bale. He hasn't always been Arkham Knight. Back then, when, things were a little stupider with, McCarthyism, Batman had a really interesting run of renditions in the form of several different actors. But I can't really talk about the classics without talking about, the newer and improved. Improved is kind of bullshit, but the newer Batmen that have come out in the recent years. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna talk about Batman and his lesser Batmen. And if you know what I mean by lesser, then that's great. If you don't, I'm gonna explain to you what I mean. Because personally, in my eyes, I only view one Batman as the best, and the rest are kind of lesser than him. But let's get right into it. Also, we're not going to be going over any of the Batman animated films or series adaptations just because I can't be fucked to do it too much. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. Anyway, let's get into it. Starting off with the Vulture himself, Michael Keaton does not shy away from bringing a super interesting performance with Bruce Wayne with a much more serious and yet not too intense performance. But of course, I do think Batman 1989 is a very good Batman film with Jack Nicholson's Joker, which unfortunately his Joker for me isn't the highlight of the film. I'm not even a big fan of his Joker. It's kind of underwhelming to the Joker character if you ask me, but that's just me. But this isn't really about Joker, this is more about Batman, so let's get into Batman. I think the most I enjoy about this movie are the nostalgic 80s type visuals, which you can definitely see if you're looking at the screen. Gotham's really dark, and it looks gritty and nice, and I really do enjoy that. And Lando Calrissian is literally Harvey Dent. That's awesome, I think. But Batman, Keaton's Batman, is a very cool, a little bit nonchalant, kind of calculated, which I do like. I think it's kind of true to Bruce. But the one thing that I really wasn't into is how he just kind of tries to reveal his identity to Vicky for whatever fucking reason. She didn't really do much but sleep with him, so I don't really understand why he would feel so implied to let me reveal my identity to you besides her calling him a bunch of times. I don't know. To me, whenever I see Bruce, he's a billionaire, and this is just some lady, I guess. I don't really know. That's just kind of how I feel about it. I don't really think that Bruce would actually do that unless they got really close to him. You'll see that later. Another thing is that Batman 1989, I think, has one of the best fucking Batmobiles I have ever seen. Look at this fucking Batmobile. This thing is so cool. I just love the design. It's so pretty. Best fucking Batmobile. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, though, the Batsuit is very boring, and it's boring. It doesn't do much and it lacks a lot of aesthetically pleasing stuff, and I don't really like the lack of movement in the head like Darth Vader. I think that's really, ugly, in my opinion. It looks really ugly. But in some scenes, it looks kind of cool. I won't lie, it looks kind of cool. I just don't like the whole, like I said, the Vader stuff. It doesn't really look right. And also the Batcave is kind of ugly. I don't really like the way the Batcave looks at all. And I really feel like they missed in this adaptation. I think they could have done a way better job, but I don't know. But Batman Returns, oh my god. This is one of those rare fucking cases where a sequel is so much better than the original. The casting of Penguin is so spot on. It's just crazy. I love it. And Michelle Pfeiffer, amazing. I love her acting in this movie. Of course, this isn't all about the other characters. This is about Batman, but I cannot talk about Batman without talking about these characters. I'm sorry, I can't. Because what is Batman without Catwoman, without Penguin, without Joker? Exactly, he's Space Jam 2. And honestly, Keaton's performance in this movie is so much better than it is in the first one, and I like that a lot. He's not very outshined by Nicholson at all, which is good because Nicholson is boring. Don't get me wrong, The Shining was a great movie, but Joker Nicholson is very boring. I do not like the character. And also, Gotham looks so much better than I remembered in this movie. The snowy appearance mixed with the like gritty darkness of the city, it makes so much, you know, in terms of visuals, it has so much harmony. It works so well together. I love it so much. But that's kind of really it. That's kind of all I have to say about Keaton. He's not the worst. He's not the best. But, you know, the worst is coming. Anyway. Okay, let me preface this part with telling you that I watched this fucking movie 4 times just to really grasp why people don't like it. And I kind of forgot about Batman and Robin. I really only remember seeing Uma Thurman and her being the reason why I'm so into the color green. Because, I mean, look at the Poison Ivy outfit. It is fucking gorgeous, and it looks very nice. Anyway, let me get into it. I have, like, so much less to say about this movie, and some people that actually watch these movies are like, well, why did you put George Clooney before Val Kilmer? Well, because I have less to say about this movie than I do about Val Kilmer's movie. So, first things first, this movie sucks. It's very bad. Bruce is a very flat character in this movie. I feel like he's not very three-dimensional, but that's just personally me. He does have some development in the movie where, you know, Robin's like, Batman, why don't you trust me? I'm trying to be your best pal, and you're not wedding me. It's not nice. And then at the end of the movie, Batman's like, I trust you now, Robin. That's development, I guess. But, you know, Gotham looks really good. I do think Gotham looks good in this little, you know, 2-part Batman series they had going. And it really, you know, adds to the darkness and scary part of Gotham, but also kind of gives more visual vibrance, which is nice. But Arnold and Uma Thurman really fucking made this movie better than it was. They are just great. The 2 villains of this movie are just great. I love them so much. They're great. Personally, they did a better job than the main cast, which says a lot. And also, Cher, for a Batwoman, Batgirl, does not add anything to this movie. She does not add a single thing to this movie. I'm sorry, but she doesn't. I love Clueless, but this was not a movie for her. But, you know, it's kind of a funny movie a little bit, but I don't know, it's not that good. But there's a lot of things that are missing. You can clearly see it. It feels like they kind of took some stuff out because it wasn't good or whatever. You know what I mean? But off topic, did you guys know that George Clooney told Ben Affleck not to play Batman? I didn't know that, but I think that's kind of funny because Clooney was like, well, I know we're both decent actors, pretty good actors, but, you know, just don't play Batman. I tried it and I sucked. And boy, was Clooney right. Shouldn't have played Batman. Anyway, I also feel like George Clooney's Bruce Wayne talks way too much. But that's also because I don't like George Clooney's voice, so it could just be me. But the ending scene is always cool. I love the ending scene. Anyway, it's not a very good Batman movie. Batman and Robin sucks. George Clooney's Batman is terrible. There we go. Let's get to Val Kilmer. Okay, before I actually watched the Val Kilmer movie, I thought it was a Michael Keaton movie. I thought Batman Forever was Michael Keaton. And, you know, how could I not? You look at the fucking cover. It literally looks like Michael Keaton. But I'm actually not going to lie. I think Val Kilmer does a really good job with his performance of Bruce Wayne. I think that his kind of like sort of snobby-ish and yet kind-ish approach to things was very well done with the character. I would have probably liked it more if I was a little baby, a little dumb goo-goo diaper baby, but I'm actually pretty glad that I watched this movie again because I was kind of into it. And I also can't forget, I can't forget Tommy Lee Jones, and I cannot forget Jim Carrey. Those two are fucking wonderful. They're wonderfully played villains, and I can't get enough of them. I will probably watch this movie again just because how much I love their characters. Robin is still Robin. He wasn't good in Batman and Robin. He's not good in this movie. I know this movie came before Batman and Robin, but it's just not very good. You know what I'm saying. And they still keep the whole Gotham look, the vibrant colors and everything, which I think is cool. It looks good. It looks more futuristic, which I guess is what they were going for. Still kind of cool. Anyway, I do really wish that they kept Val Kilmer for Batman and Robin, but they didn't, unfortunately. And also, Val's suit is kind of cool. I do like it. I like how it doesn't have the non-moving head. That's really nice, and, you know, it's cool. I like Val Kilmer a lot. I think he brings more of a gritty tone as well, and turns Bruce into a kind but also jaded type person, which is very entertaining to me. While, of course, I didn't have that much to say about Val Kilmer, I do think he was actually pretty cool in the movie. I did really enjoy the movie, but now we're going to get in my personal favorite Batman, and as you can hear my voice shaking, I'm very excited to talk about Christian Bale. Christian Bale's Batman / Bruce Wayne is a bit funny, especially with his bat growl. Okay, now I'm not going to go fully on script, but this fucking performance is so amazing. Bale not only takes the ever so serious looming darkness of Gotham's atmosphere, he harnesses it into his own powerful and groundbreaking performance that gets better and better with each movie. I did that all in one breath. Fucking crazy. From Batman Begins to The Dark Knight Rises, Bale brings the pain, the anger, and the tragedy, and the life of Bruce Wayne to the screen perfectly. I can't get enough of the performance. It's like I'm watching a comic book story brought to life, and it makes me actually feel, you know, emotions when I watch the movie. The score, oh my, Hans Zimmer does not miss. Hans Zimmer is one of the best fucking composers, right next to John Williams, and also next to the guy that scored that one movie that came out earlier last year. I don't remember. I'll probably look it up. I'm not going to look it up. Anyway. Also, the Tumbler, the Bat Tumbler, come on. You cannot tell me that you don't fucking like the Tumbler. The Tumbler is such a cool take on the Batmobile. I love the way it looks. It's so nice. And it comes with a Bat Pod. Did you guys know that the Bat Pod was actually functional on set? Like, he was able to ride it like a motorcycle. It's not fake. Oh my god, it's so cool. And another thing that I like is the Armory, which I thought that was the Bat Cave at first, but it's not. It's the Armory. And the Armory is so clean and pretty and nice, and it's so cool. I love it so much. It's like a liminal space, but it also works in the wonderfully gritty tone of this iteration of Gotham. And if there's anything that I really know for sure is that I love Christian Bale's performance. In fact, I don't think that The Dark Knight is just, you know, a great Batman adaptation. I think that these movies stand on their own. Like, they don't have to be Batman. They stand perfectly on their own. You know, the writing, the acting, the performances, like, I can't get enough of The Dark Knight. I'm actually pretty sure that I watched this movie once a month at one point in my life, and I'm also pretty sure that at one point in my life, I watched it once a week for a couple months straight. But I couldn't talk about Christian Bale's Batman if I didn't talk about Heath Ledger's Joker, and God, is it a role that he made his own. Heath Ledger is the perfect embodiment of chaos, insanity, mania, confusion, and it's just evil prowess that is unmatched by anyone that's ever tried. I'm talking to you, Nicholson. That shit sucked. I'm sorry. But rest in peace, Heath. You are greatly missed. Another performance, a couple performances that I also like is Cillian Murphy's Scarecrow in The Batman Begins is no shy of great. He does a great job. And Michael Caine as Alfred. Are you fucking kidding me? I love Michael Caine. Oh, I love him. Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon. Come on. You know you like Gary Oldman. If you like movies, if you like Leon the Professional, you like Gary Oldman. Come on. And Tom Hardy as Bane was something I wasn't expecting, but I'm actually pretty glad. He just such a great job. And I also love Aaron Eckhart as Two-Face. I wasn't even expecting the Two-Face arc in The Dark Knight, but fuck, it's good. I'm so glad that they mastered putting two arcs in one movie. I thought that was so awesome. Morgan Freeman as Lucius Fox, like I said, amazing casting. You know, the casting is just spot on. Nolan, you did a great job. But Anne Hathaway, okay, look at this scene. Watch this.
Sorry. I'm so terribly sorry, Mr. Wayne. It is Mr. Wayne, isn't it? Although you don't have the long nails or the facial scars, sir.
Is that what they say about me?
It's just that no one ever sees you.
That's a beautiful necklace. Reminds me of one that belonged to my mother. It can't be the same one. Because her pearls are in this safe. manufacturer clearly explained, is uncrackable.
Oops. Nobody told me it was uncrackable.
I'm afraid I can't let you take those.
Look, you wouldn't beat up a woman any more than I would beat up a cripple. Of course, sometimes exceptions have to be made. Good night, Mr. Wayne.
It's that good. Anyway, back to Batman. The Batsuit goes through a couple upgrades, which works as he continues to fight crime in Gotham, but also, can we just also talk about Gotham again? Gotham, it's all just so gorgeous to look at. It's never shy of gothic, gritty, dark, and it just looks dangerous, you know what I mean? The gothic architecture of Gotham and the Wayne Manor, it just stand out too as just beautiful and adds so much to the movie, in my opinion. Also, the Batcave in this movie is just what I wanted from a Batcave. Gorgeous and dark. It's such a perfect contrast to, like, you know, the lighter world up. It's not, you know, I mean, it's dark, of course, it's fucking dark in the Batcave, but it's like another dimension. I love it so much, and it works so well. I love Batman Begins, and I love The Dark Knight, and I love The Dark Knight Rises. Perfect fucking movies. Mwah, 10 out of 10. Perfect, beautiful tones, and beautiful, perfect writing. Thank you so much, Christopher Nolan. That shit is amazing, and I'm never gonna stop watching it. Okay, if you're anybody that I know, you know that I don't like Ben Affleck. I've never liked Ben Affleck. I think Ben Affleck is a extremely poor take on Batman, but his Bruce Wayne is kind of okay. His Bruce Wayne is kind of like a soggy hamburger, but you know that the hamburger still tastes kind of good, but it's still soggy, but it's still kind of good. Anyway, for the most part, he falls flat like Clooney's Batman. The reason is because of the shoulders he has to stand on. I mean, of course people were going to compare him to Christian Bale. Why wouldn't they? The Dark Knight set a precedent for movies and for Batman roles as well. Of course, I'm not saying people can't do what they want with a role. I am saying, though, that what Ben did was not good at all. And in Justice League, which is a movie that I don't enjoy either of the cuts, the Snyder cut or the Whedon cut, Ben Affleck really loses. And don't get me wrong, I'm never taking a comic book movie super duper serious. I'm like this with Marvel movies as well as DC movies. But Ben Affleck becomes a character that more or less falls into the background. Even though he's the main leader of the Justice League next to Superman, it doesn't feel like he's actually there, and he's only there for like random scenes. I don't know, that's just how I feel. I kind of feel like it was an all over the place movie. But I do hate to kind of sound like a shit-eating, snot-nosed Bale fan, but the Snyderverse should definitely stay dead. They should not ever try to restore it. It is not a good universe. But in Batman vs. Superman, he brought, nothing that I personally enjoyed. I'm not going to shame anyone for enjoying Batfleck. Ben Affleck, while I've definitely enjoyed him in like Good Will Hunting and stuff, is not a Batman for me. I'm sorry, but he isn't. He's not fun to watch. He's stiff, boring, and it's just a real bummer because I did expect a lot from seeing the trailers and seeing that there was going to be a new Batman. Maybe it's Zack Snyder's problem. His movies aren't that great. I mean, Watchmen was really good. 300 was really good. Man of Steel was probably my favorite iteration of Superman that I'd ever actually seen, but Batman vs. Superman, Suicide Squad, Justice League, Wonder Woman, shit was a pile of ass. Like, it was just garbo. I'm sorry, it just sucked. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about Ben Affleck. I don't like to hate on characters too much because I know these people are performing and it's not easy to get up in front of cameras and shit and fucking perform and put on a performance, but I don't like the character, so what do you want me to say? But, while all these Batman iterations might be someone's favorite, my personal favorite is obvious. Yes, Arkham City Batman is my favorite iteration. I love Arkham City Batman. I love his character arc, and the games are extremely fun to play, and the story is super awesome to get into. But seriously, I don't enjoy all the Batman movies. I do believe that they are not all that great, save for a couple of them that are cool to watch and entertaining, but that doesn't make for a good movie. The rest fall like a popped balloon. Thanks for watching. I'm not really sure what my video game thing will be. I said video game, didn't I? Fuck me. Thanks for watching. I'm not really sure what my next video will be, but I kind of want to do something with my favorite game series, and if you know me, well then you know what that game series is. Thank you guys so much once again for getting me to 80 subscribers. I love you guys so much. I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.